Bitcoin has basically been running up from the low of 31,000 up to the high of 38,000. Right now it's finding resistance, but what does this mean for Harmony One? So right now my expectations are that Bitcoin will actually increase its dominance up towards the 50% area. You see that where it was back in March of 2020 to where it was in the peak of Wave 3 and the low of Wave 4. And of course my expectations for Harmony One during Wave 5, Harmony One update.
Let's get into it.
So today, guys, we are going to be taking a look at Harmony One. We'll be taking a look specifically at the price action of the One coin and seeing exactly what is going on here when it comes to Harmony One. We'll be taking a look at the daily chart, the 4-hourly chart. We'll be having a look at Bitcoin's chart to see what's going on with those key resistance levels that are forming. We'll be taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance and how Bitcoin's dominance is now increasing and what this means for Harmony. We'll also have a look at the rebound level for Bitcoin on the stock to flow model, which we haven't seen since 2017. We'll get into Harmony One in detail and find out what we think is likely to happen in the short term and the long term. Guys, as we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, do go ahead and hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. And of course, if you happen to be new to the channel and you would like to stay up to date with all those new cryptocurrencies, the hidden gems, the technical analysis and news, then why not go ahead and subscribe? By subscribing, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything we do here. It is free, you'll stay well informed, so why not? And Chris, is there anything else that you would like to add before we jump on down and start getting into everything Bitcoin and Harmony One?
So for those of you that aren't aware, we do run a Harmony One pool. I think there's an issue after an upgrade that Harmony have done. So we're just waiting for Harmony's server to catch up, basically, in essence. So the clock sort of goes round and we know sort of when the next epoch is. So I guess one thing to highlight, we kind of expect a little bit of a dip because of this issue. But we'll be right back on track for the next epoch. But it's one that I just wanted to call out for anybody that's delegating. And for anybody that isn't delegating, don't forget you can delegate using the ticker Cheeky1.
Fantastic. Yeah, there's been a server upgrade. So all nodes are moving up to a newer version. So lots going on for Harmony. So yeah, do check that out. Right, let's jump on down and get into what's going on here. And yeah, let's check out Harmony One's TA.
Let's do it.
Okay, guys, to start with, this is a Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has basically been running up from the low of 31,000 up to the high of 38,000. Right now, it's finding resistance. But what does this mean for Harmony One? Ultimately, this resistance being found here when it comes to Bitcoin could potentially cause Bitcoin to fall back down. And if Bitcoin does have a bit of a drop down to the downside, we could start seeing Harmony One follow suit. So this absolutely is key crucial point for the entire crypto space as to what Bitcoin actually does next. Is Bitcoin going to go up here and break past this $37,900 resistance line, or is it going to fall back down to those lower lows? We'll be getting into a little bit of why I think this is more than likely actually going to be moving to the upside than the downside. So take a look at this. This is also the Bitcoin dominance, and it's our expectations that Bitcoin's dominance will start actually increasing up towards the 50% area. Right now, Bitcoin dominance, as you can see here, has been actually increasing quite nicely over the last couple of days after a bit of a pullback. This is a big key indicator that does tell a lot of institutions that there's still a fair amount of retail money out there in these altcoins, and potentially it could be shaking out the market. So diamond hands, everybody, diamond hands. So right now, my expectations are that Bitcoin will actually increase its dominance up towards the 50% area, something that we saw back here in 2017. Okay, now I don't think it's going to be exactly the same. There's a different number of cryptocurrencies this time around than there were back in 2017, 2018, and this has an impact on the Bitcoin dominance. Obviously, in the 2017, 2018 run, we actually saw this increase up to 67% before falling all the way back down here towards 32. So my expectations are that we will increase Bitcoin's dominance. I'm aiming for that 50% area. It may get a short way extended above that, but ultimately I don't think it's going to be exactly all the way up there at 67% before those altcoins do go parabolic and actually bring Bitcoin's dominance all the way down towards 30%. So my expectations, guys, are that Bitcoin dominance will increase, and this will mean that altcoins will be relatively flat or static, or maybe even drop down in value a little bit. whilst Bitcoin actually starts to get some momentum. And basically, Bitcoin will grow faster than altcoins. And as a result, the dominance for Bitcoin will also grow. And likewise, money might actually be chasing those gains and actually roll out of altcoins back into Bitcoin in order to, basically, catch up with lost profits. So ultimately, Bitcoin's dominance is my expectation to grow here. Now, the other thing that's worth bringing up is the stock to flow model, and this is going to be brought up because there was this news piece that came out as well. This one is actually talking about how Bitcoin's price has hit the stock to flow rebound level, which hasn't been seen since 2017's all-time high. And this is crucial, right? So I'm just not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to go down to here where you can see this dotted line just down here. And what this is showing us is there's a low rebound level where we actually start to push up the price of Bitcoin. And again, as we've spoken about many times over when it comes to this stock to flow, with how it is actually representing something between the 2013 to 2017 run, but the rebound level has come down to this key area, which has happened time and time again. So when we actually take a look at our stock to flow model here, what we were talking about is this line just at the bottom with the rebounds actually coming down here. And we'll be slowly moving that price right back up into this up here area here, which does put Bitcoin's price up here towards that $200,000 level. So again, Bitcoin is looking like it's in a pretty good position from a stock to flow model. It's got the rebound area. And again, when we take a look at Bitcoin on here, we actually can see that the relative strength index has got plenty of room to grow. So my expectations with Bitcoin is that it actually does go up above this $37,900 level again, bordering into that $38,000. Now, what we want to do is actually find this resistance line here for Bitcoin and turn it into support. And I do think that is something that we're likely to see. If we drop this back up into our daily view, okay, guys, we can see that how low we are on this relative strength index. This relative strength index for Bitcoin being as low as it is does indicate that we are likely to have a pretty significant run to the upside at some point soon. So again, this could last a little bit longer with basically bouncing the price between this upper area here and this lower area here. We could continue to have these traps be set, both bull and bear, and we'll have to see how that plays out. But whatever Bitcoin does has a direct impact on Harmony. So it's important that we understand what is going on with Bitcoin in terms of Bitcoin's chart here and the price action of Bitcoin, along with the Bitcoin dominance, the stock to flow model. Now, what we're going to do is jump into Harmony 1. So with Harmony 1, this is the daily chart, and we can see some interesting things when we zoom right on out. We can obviously see that where it was back in March of 2020 to where it was in the peak of Wave 3 and the low of Wave 4. And of course, my expectations for Harmony 1 during Wave 5 is to put this somewhere in that dollar level. And again, they are moving absolute mountains when it comes to things that they are doing within the ecosystem. And again, so what I'm going to do is zoom on in here. Now we have an understanding of where things are likely to go from a Wave 5 perspective. What is the immediate kind of short-term action? Well, here we obviously have the daily view, and here we can see it is in a bit of a downward trend and upward trend. Again, these two things, these two true trend lines, are likely to intersect at some point soon, which will have a breakout event in my opinion. Right now, the relative strength index is at 42, so reasonably low and has plenty of room to grow if that volume and that sentiment in the market changes. So for Harmony 1, things are definitely looking interesting here. And again, this yellow box that we put on this chart does represent the area that we're looking to enter into and get that closed candle above. Now, obviously, we've had 5 attempts so far and have failed each time at the moment, which is unfortunate, but we are looking to continue this motion to push the way through here. And again, that sixth attempt could be the one that actually pushes Harmony's price through this box, gets the closed candle that really does trigger into Wave 5, pushing the price to those fantastic highs that we know Harmony 1 can get to. So let's take a look at that on the hourly view here. And make this a little bit bigger, guys, so you can see exactly what's been going on. We can obviously see this downward trend and we can see this upward trend, right? But we also see a few additional pieces of information. Right away, we know that if I grab my horizontal ray, there is a bit of resistance just forming here. Oh, sorry, support list line just forming right here. This comes in at 7.9 cents. Okay, and that's where we fell down to yesterday quite a bit. And we tested this area, but also we can pull it all the way over here and we can find that this is an area again of high interest. We've got a couple of wicks kind of proceed to go below it, but this one here is definitely something that we need to be paying attention to. With this being said, we also have that upper band of resistance coming in at 9.1 cent, and there's a couple of areas that also might be of interest to us as well as we take a look at where things actually got to previously. during these runs. But right now, the major resistance that we're seeing here is 9.1 cent, and that's what we're looking to try to get up to during the course of today and maybe even into tomorrow. So the short term, my expectations are that we are going to start seeing an increase when it comes to Harmony One's price here. Now, the other thing I'm going to throw on here are the Bollinger Bands. And the Bollinger Bands are quite useful to know where we're being squeezed and where ultimately we're going to see some bounces or resistance. Now, where you can obviously see we have this green candle today at the point of recording this video. This is because we're at the lower end of our basically Bollinger Band here, but we also find in this support line as well. So there was nothing else to really do but move the price up when we take a look at it from this perspective. So right now there's still a bit of growth here within Harmony One. We might find resistance on that 50 hourly moving average. Other than that, we have quite a bit of room to grow with the Bollinger Bands, and hopefully, that does adapt and change and move along with the price of Harmony as we start to move the price back to the upside towards our 9.1 cent area. And again, whatever Bitcoin does will ultimately drive the decision here when it comes to Harmony One. So if Bitcoin does, go up to those fantastic highs that we know that it can do, then we could potentially start seeing the price of Harmony steadily rise up towards that 9.1 cent before maybe even having a bit of a pullback before breaking through it. And of course, all these things mean that we'll be entering this yellow box at the top here. So again, a breakdown from here, though, if Bitcoin were to now go back down towards that 31,000 level, could see Harmony One drop down in value a little bit. And again, where is it likely to fall to? Well, we obviously do have our lower area here and potentially this yellow box and our upward trend line, which will have not yet been filled. So there's potential to actually drop down a little bit lower in terms of value. But my expectations are that this will not happen. But obviously, we have to be open-minded. Anything in crypto is possible after all. So it's possible that we could fall back down towards our trend line and the upward direction, which would put us around the 5 cent level. But my expectations are that will not happen. And we should, if we are to fall down anywhere, find some additional area of support as we have done previously. So right now, again, whatever Bitcoin tends to do, we will find Harmony One doing the same. So right now, my expectations are with Bitcoin being where it is, Bitcoin to move up and Harmony One to steadily move up as well. And again, Harmony One will find resistance, in my opinion, up here at about 9.1 cent. So lots going on when it comes to Harmony One, lots going on when it comes to Bitcoin as well. And again, just to reiterate what my expectations are, we take a look at the Fibonacci retracement tool and the extensions. They're showing us at about 76 cent, but my expectation is to put this somewhere up there towards the dollar level, considering all the fantastic fundamental stuff that is happening in the space and the additional bridges that are being built and the dApps that are being built on the ecosystem that's constantly evolving. Those fundamentals do help change what this technical data is indicating to us. Chris, that's everything I have from a technical point of view when it comes to Harmony One. And it's good to understand where Bitcoin is, because Bitcoin will obviously have an effect on all altcoins, including Harmony. But is there anything else that you want to add to, to let the guys know, maybe even from a fundamental point of view?
Well, I mean, we caught up with Lee from Harmony yesterday. So there's some amazing things on the horizon. And that word is key. But for me, if you look at the statistics, I think the volumes are still on sort of a downward trend, aren't they, Nick? So that basically means that people aren't selling either, which is a really good thing, I feel. I don't know whether that aligns to your thought process, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, with the volumes decreasing the way they are showing us the sentiment here is very fearful. Harmony is susceptible to that fear, as we could have looked at the EVI factors for this, and it would confirm that basically there's lots of fear here. But as a part of that means that a lot of people have already been shaken out, which is why the price is where it is today. And as a result of that, everyone who's still holding, it's a bit of diamond hands. They can see this future vision of where Harmony is likely to go. So the volumes are decreasing, which means that this downward trend is also losing momentum. Okay, so ultimately, that's what you want to see. And you want to see an increase in volume when you're pushing the price up. So during this correction, it's fantastic to see that the volumes are actually dropping down. Even though there is extreme fear, people were, of course, selling. But the people who were selling were, basically dropping down day by day. And as a result, things are now starting to stabilize, and we're starting to see some good corrective action and recovery in motion. So yeah, absolutely. I think it's absolutely key that we do see that sentiment eventually shift, and I think we're getting there. Give it another week maybe for that sentiment to truly change. We're obviously already starting to see the narrative change within the media. We do see fantastic news stories now rather than fear news stories, although it does take a little bit of time for that confidence in the market to come back.
And I was going to also say that obviously, we caught up with Harmony. We're going to drop that interview on the 12th at 1 p.m. UK time. So I think that's like 6 a.m. Like PST. But yeah, really interesting interview. Definitely tune in. It's definitely worth a watch. Lots and lots of really exciting things on the horizon for Harmony. And just a gentle reminder, we're still super early when it comes to this crypto market. So, we're expecting wonderful things to happen, in the real world from these technologies, and, some fantastic price discovery. It's like a win-win.
Absolutely. So do watch out for that interview getting dropped on the 12th. Really good, some good insights in there. So definitely well worth a watch. Right. And with that said, done and out of the way, if you found this useful, informative, do go ahead and hit that like button. We both really do appreciate it. If you happen to be new to the channel and you would like to stay up to date with the new cryptocurrencies, the hidden gems, the technical analysis and news, then of course you can subscribe. By subscribing, you'll be kept up to date with absolutely everything we do here. It is free. You'll stay well informed. So why not? With that said, done and out of the way, we hope you have a fantastic day, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, take care.